Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a pastel blue eye look. Lip is growing on me. This is the fourth lip I've put on today, and I am just not feeling it. Love the eyes though. I'm really enjoying this pastel blue moment, especially as we get into spring. So this is going to be a super simple spring tutorial. Looks like a lot more work than it is. We used the Boxycharm Royal Edition Ciate London palette that came 2 months ago. Since my box was late, I never got to use this, so we're playing around with blues. Plus, a lot of you, when I posted about the Artist Couture palette and the blues in here, a lot of you were like, we don't really care about the palette, but we want to see a blue look. So here it is. We're playing with blue. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And don't forget to subscribe because I upload every other day, and that'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to jump into this look right here with me, nice and simple and pastel, stay tuned. My skin is already prepped and primed, and I'm going to link up above a glowy skin foundation routine that I posted earlier last week. And we're basically following that routine. So as you saw in that video with my sponge, we're just going to dot the tinted moisturizer around my face in small layers. It'll look too dark, like I mentioned in that video. But once we blend, this is a super forgiving formula. I did already prime my eyes and do my brows off camera, just because those are not really exciting things. They're just things that get done, I guess. And I'm going very sheer today because I am, doing something springy, and I might be going in with some pastel. I don't really know. But we are, I guess you saw the intro. I really want to make sure that I'm being strategic with the coverage. And I do still have plenty on here, and this was not much foundation. So I'm going to take a tiny bit more and really concentrate that where I want to build up coverage, which is really nose and chin. Those are my problem areas where I tend to get a lot of redness. Brightening with the Huda Beauty concealer. I'm basically doing that exact same routine from that video, just a lot faster, since the focus of this is really going to be on the eyes and lips. Just like in that video, taking the last of the foundation, just blending the edges where those colors meet. Next, this is from Surat Beauty. This is the Artistic Liquid Blush in the shade Cantaloupe. I used this a while ago on camera, and it's not something I use often, but I love it in the spring. It's similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Wands, but it is definitely more sheer and more illuminating. So I'm going to just apply a little bit to the bridge of the nose and the cheekbone. And you will see once I switch over to that sponge and blend it in, it is super sheer. I don't really consider this a blush. I consider it more of like an underpainting highlight. It does have that corally cantaloupe color to it, but it's definitely more, in my opinion, that highlighty color. I am going to do a second layer because I do really want this to be like the base of our blush. It's pretty. It is very sheer. So if you're looking for this to be a cream blush, you're going to be disappointed, but I love this as just a very gentle, subtle glow from within. The blush I'm using today is actually one that I can do on top of powder. So we're just going to make sure there are no creases on the under eye, and just do a quick little blend before going into my Givenchy powder. And I'm going to take that on a fluffy Sigma brush. And this is a very luminous powder, so I don't have to be super worried about only using it where I want to set. I can take it everywhere, and I will still maintain that glowy finish. For years, I have referred to this Givenchy Prism Libre powder as my holy grail Facetune in a jar, because it just takes whatever we already did, adds a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of a glow. It is like a makeup cheat code. For blush, I feel like nothing is more spring than the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. So I'm going to start with the cream blush up here. It looks very dark, but it is much more forgiving than it looks like in the pan. And we're going to concentrate that on the temples. I will be taking a little bit of a powdered bronzer around the perimeters after I do the blush, but the main like sculpting and glow is going to come from the blush today. Now it looked like it was a very dark color, but it really does just blend effortlessly into the skin. Just gonna build it up a little bit more. Right now the trend is very like super pinky on the cheeks, so we're gonna play into that pink. On my powder brush, I'm gonna take the peachy glow shade from the same palette, and I'm just gonna pat that over to set it down. This is a very illuminating color, but I do find that if you go in with a light hand, it is forgiving enough to just use right on top of the blush for that lit from within glow. We're going minimal brushes today. I'm actually going to use the same brush with my Il Makiage Wannabe Mineral Baked Bronzer. And what I'm going to do, because of where I put that blush, we're going to raise the cheekbone. So I'm going to start at the temple, and I'm going to use this under and just on top of that blush to give us a little bit of a lift and a sculpt to the cheek. And as you know, my secret is always just grab that sponge and press everything together. And for a while now, no cheek is complete without the Benefit Georgia blush. And again, that same brush, and I'm just gonna wash this all over the cheek and temples. It's gonna add a little bit more of that peachy glow, so that way I can go lighter on the highlight. For highlight, no surprise, this is the Fenty Kilowatt in Sandcastle. It also has Mint Mojito, the blue shade, but Sandcastle for me is just the absolute perfect, taupey highlight. And I like to take it on the highest point before switching to whatever I use for blush and blending that over the whole cheek. This is just making sure we don't have that stripe of highlighter on the face, and instead we get a glowing cheek. Now I have a couple eyeshadow palettes to pick from. I really want to do something with blue today. I know that that's like, for me, pastels in spring and blue kind of go hand in hand. I kind of want to use, this is the Royal Edition Ciate palette that was in Boxycharm 2 months ago. Mine came so late that I never actually got a chance to use this on camera. And I think I want to play around with Spectre, that frosty blue shade. So I think we're going to go in with blue. All right, I'm going to start with a domed crease brush. This is the contour brush from Beauty For Real. And I'm going to take the shade Countess, this peachy shade up here, on the tip of my brush. I'm going to trace the crease. Then going into the cool tone brown right here, Royal Family, on that same brush. And I'm going to focus that in the socket of the eye and lower. I don't want that to go nearly as high as the first color. Now I knew before even trying this that I like the Ciate eyeshadow formula, but this is giving a really nice contoured effect. I'm going to switch to the Beauty For Real blender brush, and I'm going to take a mixture of those same two colors, and I'm going to just blend that up the eye. Back to the smaller brush, we're going to go to the shade King right here, which is again an even darker brown. And instead of going on the tip of the brush, I'm going to take that kind of on the side of the brush, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to take that very low down on the lash line and into the crease, but just at the crease line on the outer portion of the eye. I don't want this to go too high because we're looking for smoky, we're not looking for a black eye. When you're using colors like, these neutral browns, especially cool toned browns, it can go punched in the face bruise very quickly. So in order to keep the risk of having a black eye effect, you really just want to build up those colors slowly. And then once you feel like you have the shape where you want it, you can then take whatever's left on the brush and blend that through the crease and up. And again, I'm going in with a very light hand, so you can keep building that up until you get the desired darkness in shade that you want. These colors are very rich and very pigmented, so you can either build them up very quickly or, like I'm doing, one little tap at a time. Once that base of dark color is down, back to that brush with the lighter brown color, Royal Family, and we're just going to blend that from the outer portion of the eye towards the middle of the eye. And this is going to give us, again, that same gradient we were looking for in the crease, but down the lid. And that's going to give us some more dimension when we finally go in with our lid shade. I think I want to do like a bold blue. I think I want to do a bold blue liner on the waterline. So I am going to take Spectre, that cool icy blue on the lid. But before I do that, I am going to just fix my lighting because the sun just moved and now I feel like I'm getting super washed out. All right, that feels much better. So I'm going to go into Spectre, that frosted blue shade, and I'm just going to take that on a flat packer brush, and I am going to give that a quick setting spray mist. I'm going to take that all over the lid. So the challenge when you use one of these pastel blues is it could pull very silver. And I feel like we're getting blue, but it still feels a little silver. So I'm going to see if I have a, blue toned either glitter or pigment I can pop on top. And I do. So we're going to use the Translucid Aquamarine. And this is a very, very blue tone, so I don't want to go this intense. But I'm going to take that, or a small amount of it anyway, on a, what is this? This is the shader brush from, again, that same Beauty For Real brush set. And I'm going to pull a very thin layer of this over my eye. Now you can build this up and obviously get like the full opacity of this like bright, vibrant blue. I don't want it to be quite that vibrant, so I'm going to really take my time shearing it out, and then going back into the silvery blue from the palette, I'm going to press that on top just to tone it down, because again, I want like a pastel, silvery, icy blue. I don't want a royal blue. I'm going to do that on this eye, and I'll be right back. Next, take your favorite blue liner. This is actually a limited edition one that is no longer available, but it is, like, for this look, the one I need. This is called the Night King. This is the Urban Decay Game of Thrones liner from longer ago than I care to admit, but this is going to be the perfect color for the waterline. Now, what I love about this is the micro glitter in here is the same color I have on the lid, but the base color is like a true cobalt blue. So I'm going to take royal blue down here, and I'm going to grab that on a pencil brush, and I am going to take a little bit of that and buff that over the outer portion of my waterline just down here. Then I'm going to switch to the lid shade, that lighter color, and I'm going to take that on the inner corner, and I'm going to blend that over the cobalt, and that's going to give us this gradient. All right, it looks a little insane, but I promise it will come together. I'm going to switch back to that contour brush. I did brush it off, and I'm going to take the shade Palace, this bone white color, and I'm going to take quite a bit of that, and I'm going to blend that under the blues just to soften the edge before I go into the browns, which are going to frame this. Now we're ready to go into the browns. So I'm going to go with the same three we used before. I'm going to take the shade King on a pencil brush, and I'm going to take that dark, dark brown very close to the blue on the outer portion of the eye. I'm not taking too much of that. We really just want this to give us shape. Then I'm going to switch to Royal Family, and I'm going to take that in the middle of the under eye and over that shade King, really just blending those two together. And then back to that fluffy brush on Countess, the lightest one we used. I'm going to take that under and around all of that brown, and I'm actually going to blend that up to where this crease shade meets the outer upper lid. So that way the brown kind of has this 360 moment. And I'm just going to keep blending and building up that last brown until this eye feels cohesive and blended together. And this is going to be one of those looks that until you have your mascara or lashes on, it's going to feel a little off. And see how those browns softened that blue just so it feels a little more put together? Grabbing a little detail brush, I'm going to take the shade Diamond right here, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. And because the eyes are so blue, I'm actually going to take that Mint Mojito shade from the Fenty highlight and pop a tiny bit on top of that shade Diamond. I don't want to use the blue on its own. I want to layer it on top of the white just so that it is a little bit more vibrant. All right, I'm going to go mascara and potentially lash off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, I am not sure if I want to do a lash. I feel like for spring, I like this, just tiny bit of mascara, let the eyeshadow speak for itself. So I might just kind of leave it as is. Moving on to lip, I really wanted to do like a brown liner with a red lip because like I've seen that everywhere lately and I love that combo. But I feel like I need a nude for this. So I'm going to grab... This is from Ace Beauty. This is the Manifest Liquid Lipstick. And I'm going to take that with a brown liner just to cool it off a bit. It's also fairly light, so this will help to kind of make it a little bit less light. I know this is going to look like a very dark liner. It is. It's a dark brown liner. This is the Artist Colored Pencil from Makeup Forever in Dimensional Dark Brown. And we're going to top that with the liquid lipstick. All right, I have not even finished blending the lip, but I can already tell you it's too warm of a tone with the brown blending with this. It looks so much more like nude in the tube, but when I pull it out, it is definitely more peachy and less pink. So I'm going to switch the lip. All right, I'm going to grab, this is also from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Colored Pencil in Free Burgundy, and I'm going to do a light line with this. And I'm going to top that with the Fenty Lip Paint in Uncensored, which is the bright red. And I'm going to concentrate that on the middle of the lips. And once it's dry, I'm going to grab, this is the Alamar Coquetta Gloss. It is a brownie nude gloss, and I'm actually going to put this on top because that'll help to tone this red and make it a little more cool. And now that it's on, I love the lip, but I'm regretting the lip. I feel like I have to just do a nude. I'm going to go switch to a nude lip, and hopefully third time's the charm. All right, third time is the charm. We kind of mixed a bunch of things. Beauty For Real Neutral Lip Liner, which is a peachy nude. I put the Ace Beauty on, and it read so, like, orangey brown on me that I had to layer. This is the Give Them Lala and Booty Call, which was a very light peach. And all of it just looked brown, so I put a pink gloss on top. Basically, I'm not happy with the lip, but I think everything else looks really good. And there's lipstick on my teeth. But I feel like this is how the world works, is like, I like 2/3 of what's going on, and that's about what it's going to be today. I'm not putting on a fourth lip. So what are your thoughts? I think I really like the way this blue performed. I feel like I could keep layering it up to get this super vibrant neon blue, but I like that I can sheer it out and do a much softer pastel-y blue, especially as we lead into spring. Florals, pastels, spring. It works. Anyway, what are you doing for spring? What type of looks are you into? Sound off down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!